Hi, Sean.
Hi, Jack.
You all right?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm a bit frazzled.
Yes.
On the road, which I listened to Parenting Hell, your guest spot on that, and you have absolutely no. I know you have no sympathy for me being completely frazzled because I've been in 5 different counties in 6 days. I don't know who I am.
Well, that's what we do, isn't it? That's, I mean, if you were selling vacuum cleaners, you wouldn't get a salesman say, "Oh, I'm so frazzled. I've been, I don't know where I am." Come on. You had to drive somewhere, tell some jokes, and then drive somewhere else. That was all it was. Anyway.
I picked the wrong guy. For sympathy. Point taken. But last night I got back late. And when I got in, so Mildred, obviously we know the routine. Mildred, I say, let me, and then I say up, and she goes onto her beanbag, and then I it was quite funny. I was talking to her. I think I was saying what I just said to you. Mildred, I don't know who I am, Mildred. I don't know what's going on. I'm so frazzled. What's going on? and I looked at her, and it really looked like she was listening.
Yeah.
It just really looked like she was listening and thinking about what I was saying. And it made me laugh. And then so I started to talk to her, because I was kind of making some toast, so I was kind of just thinking out loud, and then noticed that it looked like she was listening. So then I thought, I wonder what happens if I actually talk to her. If I actually just directly look into her eyes and say, 2 hours from Leicester, absolute nightmare.
Right.
Back after 1.
Yeah, like proper sort of content to the conversation. Yeah. What did she glaze over?
What? What I noticed is, I'll have is that when I stopped talking, her then head went another way. Like I always stopped.
Yeah.
I always stopped, so it did. So then I thought, let's start again and see if she looks back up. And so I started again, and then she looked at me. So I thought, she'd quite like to be talking to her.
Yes.
This morning, well, no, this morning, she's on me, and I'm talking like I do, and then she does that thing where she taps me on the arm.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
She taps me on the arm like, no, don't stop, more chat.
Yeah.
And so I had to carry on talking to her, and every time I stopped talking, she tapped me.
Oh.
It's like, no, more chat. And I thought, this is bizarre.
She loves it. She wants to hear all your news. That's really sweet.
It's really sweet. On my moaning.
Yeah. Tell us about the service station again. Yeah.
A lot more attentive than you, Jack.
Yeah. Well, quite. Yeah. A lot more sympathetic. Yeah.
Exactly.
During the week, we had some WhatsApp messages from Sara, slightly cryptic, and I want to know something's gone on with Juniper. What's been going on, Sara?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. So on Friday, I took her out for a walk, and on the walk, she did unfortunately manage to eat 2 tiny poos along the walk.
Right.
She's so quick with it.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh dear. I'm not that happy when she does that. Anyway,
not
home.
Yours, should be said, just to clarify. So
unnecessary.
Keep it clean. Unnecessary. Carry on.
And so later on, I noticed that she was getting quite lethargic and quite ill. Like she was having, diarrhea and stuff like that.
Oh.
And I thought, oh God, I need to monitor that. So I started texting Simon, as I do.
Yes.
It was quite late, about 11:30 at night by this point. Didn't hear from him. Turns out he was in Amsterdam, quite selfishly, instead of answering my text messages.
Yeah.
But the next day, we called the vet and we said, she's very lethargic, so maybe we should bring her in. Made an appointment. And then within half an hour, she was back to normal.
Oh.
So I thought, Darren was like you, Sean, do we really need to take her? So we cancelled the appointment. She did have red eyes, though. I thought, what's going on here?
So did Simon, being in Amsterdam.
the red eyes district. Anyway, so I left it, and then come Monday, she still had these red eyes. So I thought, no, I've got to do something here, because if you look online, anything to do with eyes, it says don't leave it. Take her to the vet.
Well, that's it. It says anything new. I think I've learned that anything you type into Google, it says don't leave it. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So I took her to the vet yesterday, and he had a look. And I learned something here. Did you know that dogs have a third eyelid?
No.
What?
Yeah.
What? So inside the eye. Go on.
So her eyes were red in the corners.
Yes.
And on the outside, they were still white. And I was explaining this to him. And I said she'd had, like loose stools the past few days. And he said, in cats, there's a correlation between this red eyes and having a gastric thing.
Yeah.
He said, I've not come across it in dogs. And he looked it up, and it doesn't really come up in dogs. But he said what's happened is her third eyelid has moved across her eye. Oh. And that's what was looking red.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So he said to me, he checked her over, took her temperature and everything. She's absolutely fine. So that was £65 for a bit of content for the show.
Money well spent.
That's fine.
Money well spent. Let me tell you.
But he just said to me, get her some probiotic stuff that you just sprinkle on her food. So I've got to do that. Right. But she's absolutely fine. And she didn't go off her food or anything like that. But the red eyes thing really was worrying me. And it turns out, third eyelid.
So does the third eyelid, does it go across from the corner of the eye across like curtains? Does it?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Really?
So, because when I was looking into her eyes, she looked a bit sad because they're red and also looked like she was sort of crying, but it's the third eyelid moving across. And he said to me, once her gastric stuff sorts itself out, that should move back.
Right. Okay.
Isn't that weird?
It is. Were you a bit disappointed that the vet had to Google that in front of you? I mean, for 65 quid. Honestly, you can ask me questions. I'll Google them for you.
Little side hustle.
Yeah. I suppose. But anyway, she's well now. Is she? She's a lot better.
She seems fine. Her eyes are still a little bit red. I had no idea there was even this third eyelid thing.
I didn't know about that at all.
So third. So there's no fourth. Well, no, because what I'm saying that we've got two. Well, no, we've got two eyes. So I'm being. What am I completely? What am I? What have I not put together here? Oh, for God's sake, we've got two eyes. It's an even number. Why have we now suddenly gone to an odd number? What's the third eye? The two eye. Oh,
yeah, and then three.
There's one comes down, one goes up, and then you've got this funny one, like sort of.
Sorry.
That would be six, otherwise. Sure.
Yes, I know. I was thinking. Oh.
I mean, if you need it to be even numbers to work for you, you can say 4 because they got one on each eye. And then, I didn't know that about. I didn't know, but poor. I wonder if the trouble is Juniper won't put together the cause and effect, and thinking if I eat stuff like that, I will feel ill. Do you think she'll have learnt from that, or
I don't think so.
No,
I just think that. I mean, I'm making that conclusion. I don't even know if it was related to the.
No.
Simon said it wouldn't have been. Really.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, he said not to worry about that, but then I started reading about all these diseases that can be, contained in the poo, and I was like, oh my gosh, you just go down a rabbit hole, don't you?
It's best to not go there.
Yeah, that's why I thought take her to the vet. She'll get checked out. Everything will be hunky dory after that. He just said, bring her back because we want another 65 quid out of you if there's anything that comes up, But she's been fine since. Yeah. They're such a worry, aren't they? They're such a worry if anything happens.
Of course, they can't say to you, "Oh, I've got a tummy ache. I've got this is right." And they can't say, "Oh, yeah, I feel better today, thanks."
Yeah.
All you do is sit there worrying until they seem to be back to their normal self.
Yeah.
Yes. I never understand that when the vet or doctor says come back if it's still causing a problem. Well, yeah.
Well, I will obviously. That's why I'm here anyway. Yeah. You think I'm an idiot? I get how this works.
Exactly. So, and how's Dolly? Dolly's all good.
Dolly's really well, actually. Yeah, she's in fine form and fully enjoying life. And just got no news to report with Dolly.
That's fine.
She's been great.
You've been on the road, so you're getting back late, and she's
I'm getting back, and she's always very excited when I come back. If I've been away, then it really is. She does make an extra fuss. And what she loves to do is be picked up, and then she'll go straight into my ear, and that's what she wants to do is clean my ears out for me when I get back. So that's a very nice thing. Yeah, so Sean, you've got a move coming up. You're moving house.
Yes.
How's Mildred going to cope with that? Do you think she's going to be weirded out by that whole experience?
I do. I mean, Simon mentioned, when I brought that up with Simon in the past, he's talked about making sure that, one of the first things you kind of unload are the things she likes, any of her toys, any of a blanket, her beanbag, obviously, to make it easier for her. I mean, the one thing I'm concerned about, well, amongst many other things, is obviously we know she has the habit of barking.
Yeah.
In the garden, we know that. Grace has told me that she can stop that now by having a stare down with Mildred.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So she opens the back door and then just stares at her. And
have you experienced the same stare ever, Sean? Have you had that stare?
Would you believe?
It sounds terrifying.
But of course, everyone's used to that here, and it's not too long. She goes out, she barks for the beginning, and then it stops. But of course, we've got Wilder, and we're going to be that family. What I really wanted to avoid is being that family that's moving into the neighbourhood with a screaming toddler and a barking dog.
Yeah,
and also a middle-aged man going, "Oh God!" everything. Which, by the way, this is awful. What Wilder says now.
Is it? Oh no,
Yeah.
She's picked it up.
She says what she's picked up is "oh God" and "oh no."
Yeah. It's you've got to be careful because they do pick it all up. It's frightening. There's an Instagram thing I saw of toddlers swearing. It's quite distressing, really. But you realise where it all comes from because they just hear it and they repeat it like minor birds, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. But yet my worry is being that family that are gonna and everyone's just gonna be thinking, oh God, who are these?
Yeah.
And
so have you got a garden where you're going to the new place?
Yes, we've got a garden. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Nice.
We do. That was we had to have a garden for Mildred.
Yeah. And Wilder, surely.
Sure.
I mean, yeah. But I can see. I sympathise because I think your neighbours will think, oh, this is a bit more than we had wanted. We'd hoped it would be a quiet person who'd move in, and that's,
exactly.
A nice.
Oh no, they've got to get used to you getting locked out as well.
Oh.
Yes, that's right.
We have thought about that.
Yeah.
We have. So the key safe. We're gonna have to. We will finally use your key safe.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Yes.
It'd be funny if it's a Know My Dog listener who knows what a liability you are already when they see you moving in, and they'll be thinking, "Oh no!" I mean, I like the podcast. I didn't want him moving next door. That's
Yeah, I know. They have my sympathy. I'll do my best. Do we have an email this week, Jack? Sarah? What do we do?
But we got
a voice note. I know we've got a voice note.
We do.
We have got a nice email from Claire, who I think as we read out her email, and she was chuffed to bits to have it read for her. And so there was a lot of excitement in her family. Well, thank you very much, Claire, and thanks for the feedback. And if, like Claire, you'd like excitement in your family, then send us an email and we can read that out. It's all part of the service.
I would quite like to know, and I think part of this podcast actually, which wasn't something even that I don't think I had, envisioned, is that you get to kind of find out if your relationship with your dog, or what your relationship with your dog is normal.
Yeah.
So, me talking to Mildred and Mildred liking me talking and kind of tapping me and going, come on, no, more, is I've thought I want to ask the listeners if anyone out there has a similar thing, please get in touch, let me know. And so that I don't feel as odd.
I suspect there'll be lots of people relating to that, and it's for some reason it's particularly endearing when they'll do something like that, when they'll sort of tap you on the arm and say, "Come on, keep going." I like it when you talk to me. It's like when dogs want to shake hands with you. It's really sweet, isn't it? It's just a nice thing.
Do you talk to Dolly either and Juniper? Sara, do you come in and have full blown conversations?
Oh yeah, I tell her everything that I'm doing. It's that commentating thing, and I've become more aware of it since you brought it up, being caught talking to your dog.
Yeah.
I'm now very conscious of this, and I did exactly the same thing. I was like, oh, it's not raining so much now, Juniper, as we're leaving the house.
Yeah. But as I think I said it last week, is when you find yourself doing it and there's no dog there either. You've actually crossed that line and you're saying it to yourself. And and
you're going to have to start taking Dolly with you everywhere, Jack.
Yeah.
So that it just looks like you're talking to Dolly, even though you're actually talking to yourself.
Because from there, it's a very quick route to just sounding like an old person when you just say things like, oh dear, to yourself, just, under your breath. I remember being young and hearing old people thinking, what are you talking about? What's oh dear about it? And then now I'm doing it. But anyway, they're good listeners, dogs are. They're very good listeners. And I think they like to be involved in the conversation, the chat. And we like with Dolly yesterday, because Dolly's not allowed into the supermarket, but Jane popped in, but I waited by the door of the supermarket, and
I love that, by the way.
I'm holding her, saying, "Yeah, what do you love? What?"
Sorry, just on that, using your dog as an excuse to not go in, absolutely fantastic. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean there was that, but she wasn't allowed in because she's not a guide dog, and I think it'd be a bit of a stretch to kind of pretend she is. So I'm holding on to her, and I'm going, "Where's Mum then? Can you see Mum yet?" But as soon as I say Mum, she's like, she's looking up and where? What'd you say Mum for? Where is she? So she's looking out for her. The minute Jane goes in, she's absolutely eagle-eyed, waiting to see where she is. And then when she suddenly appears, Jane appears, and here she is. Here's Mum.
That's lovely. That's the pack thing, isn't it? They want everyone together. Everyone's together. We got everyone right now. We can go.
Yeah. So sometimes if we just stay in the car while she goes in, and I have to look, for the sake of equality here, I quite often do the shop myself, and Jane waits with Dolly. That can happen as well. This isn't just kind of stereotyping, but if Jane goes in, Dolly is absolutely fixed on the door of the shop until she comes out again. She won't take her eyes off it. It's amazing.
Same thing with Mildred.
Yeah. Less bothered if I go in, it has to be said. I think she's...
Yes.
But there you are. So we've got a great guest though, haven't we, this week? I'm excited to... that we've got a voice note as well. Should we do a voice note?
We do have a voice note. Let's do a voice note.
Nice one from Rowetta.
Yes. Who we spoke to a while
Bobbi.
back now.
Yeah.
Hi, my dog, Rowetta here. So we've got a new baby puppy. been looking for the right one because I love my Che, but I wanted him to have a little playmate. So we've got little playmates, which is a chuggle. Che's a papillon, and he's not very keen this morning. He loved it yesterday. So I'm hoping that they do get on. My mum, who has Alzheimer's, has decided to name her after her grandma, Bobbi. She had a good sleep last night with us. She's very frisky this morning, and Che isn't keen, but I'm hoping he'll get to love her as much as I do. My mum loves her, my son loves her, and she's fantastic. So she's really, really cute. So hopefully they will get on, and I'm going to take them to the park now. But before I do, I'd like to wish you all a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, my dog, you're two. I'd love to come back on again with both dogs. So hopefully see you soon, and lots of love.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, that's
Have you got a
lovely.
picture there, Sara?
I've got a picture, yeah.
Oh, absolutely
Oh.
sweet. Oh, so sweet.
Looks like a little
lovely.
Ewok.
Yeah, doesn't
So
it?
cute.
I've not seen a puppy
Exactly.
papillon before. They are such pretty dogs, aren't they? Really lovely. So no, Rowetta, you have to come back on and tell us all about that. We want want all the stories. It sounds delightful.
Thank you for leaving that. Before we speak to our guest, Jack, something I actually forgot to do that I had prepared.
Yeah.
Before we jumped on, is Sara, I'm right in thinking this is going out by the time this goes out. Valentine's Day will have happened.
Yeah.
So I've spoken to AI. And Jack, I don't know if they've just taken this straight from you.
Yeah.
But we've got a Valentine's Day in the style of yourself.
Oh.
Valentine's Day joke, here we go. Valentine's Day. What a great idea. A whole day dedicated to spending money to prove you love someone. Because nothing says I care like panic buying petrol station flowers and pretending you booked the restaurant 3 weeks ago.
I reckon they got that from my act. I've done that a few years ago. They've done that. I've been there. That sounds very familiar.
So I wonder what happens if I put ha 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 ha. Right?
Yeah.
So I put ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
And AI said, glad you liked it. Jack D would definitely approve.
Well, that's true. I'll take anything these days, I tell you.
He said, Jack D would definitely approve. Want another one? I said, oh, go on then. And he said, I love Valentine's Day. It's that special time of year when you spend £5 on a card to say, I love you, to the same person you completely ignore for the other 364 days. How would that even work?
I don't know. It's just...
Just completely blanking someone for 364 days.
They obviously think I was some kind of psychopath. It's on the subject of Valentine's, though. Does Mildred or Juniper, do they ever send Valentine's cards? This is the thing. Because Dolly's been very organised. She usually is, actually. I can say this because it'll go out after Valentine's, so it won't be spoiling any surprises. Because Dolly gets onto a certain well-known card company and uploads a photo of herself, and then it sends the card to Jane. So Jane's got this envelope with it should have arrived by now with to Jane, and it'll be a little card from Dolly at Valentine's.
Oh, it's so sweet. I love it.
I might show it to you I hope it's arrived. Dolly will be very upset if it hasn't. She spent all her pocket money on it. But I'll try and show it to you next week. Yeah.
Oh yes, so do. We look forward to that.
Yeah, I think that would be something that Darren would be responsible for, really, and likewise you, Sean, you'd be responsible for that.
I hope I haven't made life very difficult for a lot of men out there now. I get hate mail from. Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Yeah.
This divorce is costing me a fortune. Thanks, Jack.
It is, though. I think Valentine's night is difficult to get right. You know, those restaurants, special menus for Valentine's are pretty I mean, they're just so expensive, aren't they? Put the price up so much. And yet somehow, if you explain it that way, it's not romantic. But yeah, let's go out on the 15th. We'll go out on the 15th. I don't have a problem with that. Anyway. And coming up next, we have Helen Prestage from The Doghouse on Channel 4 documentary series. Very good it is too. Thank you very much, Helen, for joining us. Let's go straight into it. Tell us all about your work at Woodgreen Pet Charity.
Okay, so I've worked here for about 17 years,
Oh,
so not known really anything different in my adult life.
Yeah.
And I initially started outside with the dogs, so I used to take them in, train them, get them ready for homing. And now I, for the last 6 years or so, have done matching. So I focus more on speaking to people, finding out what they need, what they're looking for, and try and find a suitable dog.
Was it something you always wanted to do? Work with dogs, work with animals? Is it just a thing you've always kind of been inclined towards?
I was terrified of dogs.
Oh yeah.
So I had a real fear of dogs growing up. My friend's dog had a Labrador, and she jumped up at me when I was younger, and that was it. I was terrified. I wouldn't go near any dogs.
How young, Helen? Can you remember?
So I was in primary school.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
young. Yeah. So really didn't like dogs. And then my next door neighbour, who is now my husband, got a dog, and that sort of turned things around really. And I sort of began to realise that actually that scary experience was just an excitable dog.
Did he sing "Love Me, Love My Dog" to you, and that's what did it? Is that?
If you meet my husband, he can't sing a note, so
okay,
no.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But it was probably the thing that tipped me over the edge, saying, "Yeah, I'll date you," because I loved his dog.
Oh.
And and then my family decided they were going to get a dog, and we got our first dog when I was 19, and we actually got it from Woodgreen.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
So that was your introduction to Woodgreen Pets Charity, and then the work followed on from there. So your speciality is actually now is matching prospective owners with dogs that need new homes. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So give us an insight. How do you match the person to the dog? I have no idea where to start with that. Just start with looks, because I've got a cockapoo, and it looks like that's how we've done it.
Yeah.
It's strange that owners do tend to pick dogs or breeds of dogs that look like them. That definitely is a thing. I always say with people, it's opposites attract, but I think with dogs, people are drawn to dogs that look like them and have similar personalities to them. That's my theory anyway.
So when
We'll take it.
Okay, so when someone comes in and they've got, long shaggy hair or something, is that a thing you take into consideration, thinking they will be attracted to this dog over here with long shaggy hair?
Yeah, it can really sort of compliment someone or really offend someone, can't it? Depends on the breed of the dog.
Yeah.
This dog stinks. Yeah.
Yeah, like a British bulldog, a face only a mother could love, and then you got to be a bit careful.
But I'm sure there's a serious side to it, though, isn't there? Where you have to consider: have they got children? Where do they live? What's their lifestyle, work, and stuff like that? A lot of that information has to be taken on board.
Absolutely. It's difficult to put into words because I've done it for so long. It's almost second nature now.
I'm
sure.
What you see on TV is a very small part of the interview process that we do for prospective new owners. So we have quite a list of questions that we ask them. So about their lifestyle, about their setup at home, other pets, child ages, that kind of thing.
Is there a preferred kind of setup that you like to hear?
No children, no cats, at home all the time.
That's how
that
I
makes it a lot easier. We get in quite challenging dogs. So to find a home for some of them can be tricky because a lot of people that come to us do have other pets or do work.
Right.
So in an ideal world, everyone would just dedicate 100% of their time to the dog and have nothing else in their life, but that's not realistic. So, but
Sure.
that means it's really important to find people a dog that, you know, really matches their lifestyle and personality. Because if we were to take a really nervous dog who's had a traumatic past and put them in a home with children that are young and loud and boisterous, that's not going to be the best setup for that dog. And we are the voice for the dog, so we have to be that.
Yeah. Do you ever get a situation where the prospective owner says, "Oh no, I don't like what you've chosen for me. I don't like this dog"? Does that happen? That they say, "I wanted something smaller or bigger," or how does that ever happen? And how do you cope with it?
It does. I think on paper it can be a perfect match, but again, it's like with people, you know, you have to feel that spark when you meet a dog and feel that connection, and that doesn't always happen. So it's a little bit frustrating for us because we feel like we found the perfect match, and then anything can happen when they meet the dog. But, you know, we're there to not only find a great home for a dog, we're there to find a great match for the people. So if we have to go back to the office and back to the drawing board, that's what we have to do.
Yeah. Have things been a lot busier since lockdown? Has that changed the whole world for you in terms of rehoming dogs?
It's never not busy here.
Of course.
It's, you know, I think the difference in lockdown is a lot of people obviously got dogs during that time because their lifestyle and their work patterns changed, and then they went back to work. So we've had a lot of lockdown puppies come into us. So it hasn't necessarily changed the number of dogs, but it's changed the behaviours that we're seeing. So we had a lot of quite easy, well-socialised dogs come into us before, and now we're seeing dogs with separation anxiety, dogs that haven't been socialised with other dogs. That's tricky. If you miss that when they're a puppy, it's difficult to get that back.
And how generally do dogs find themselves to be with you?
Strays is a big one. So
really,
we take in strays from 4 different councils around us. So
this is just people finding dogs and kind of reporting back to you.
Yeah, and bringing them into us. So people just arriving with dogs in the back of their car that they found somewhere in the area.
And these dogs have been, presumably, it's awful, but they've been abandoned, they've been dumped.
Yeah, a variety of situations. So some of them get reclaimed. So dogs that have maybe just wandered out of the garden or broken free on a walk and taken themselves for a good time. But also we do get a lot of dogs that come in that have been abandoned, so that come in emaciated with wounds, serious medical issues. We are in the countryside here, and it's hare coursing season at the moment. So we get a lot of sight hounds come into us. Is probably the most common breed that we...
So these hounds are dogs that have been let loose to chase hares, is that right? And then they've got lost, or what is that? How it's happened?
So I think it's a combination. Either they run off, or the group gets broken up by police and they get left there, or they're no good at hare coursing, so
and they just left.
Leave them.
Helen, I hope you don't mind me. It's a kind of personal question, but I've always wondered, when you're having to see, you're recounting these stories and finding these horrible situations that these dogs have found themselves in. How do you cope? I've always wondered, how does the human being that obviously loves dogs, loves animals, how do you cope with that? Because you're having to see a lot of, I imagine traumatic, sad things and enter the building.
Yeah, it's a job that a lot of people ask that question about, and most people that work here, to be honest, if you get past 5 years, you're kind of here for life. Because I feel like you have to have a coping mechanism with things like that. It's something you have to come to terms with. It's part and parcel of rescue. So the first couple of years are really tough. You want to save everything, you want to rehome everything, you want to foster everything. But after that, I think reality sets in, and you just have to become not hardened to it, but you have to put yourself in quite a rational place of thinking that you just come to adopt every time you walk through the door.
Yeah, I think you kind of learn to compartmentalize things, don't you? I imagine if you're a nurse or a doctor on a pediatric ward or something, it'd be very distressing. You just cannot you can't function if you take it all with you all the time. So yeah, I suppose
Absolutely.
you learn the technique of being able to, keep it where it belongs, and do your job to your best of your ability, and then not torture yourself afterwards.
Absolutely.
Is it actually a charity? That's quite important to talk about. Is Woodgreen a charity?
It's a charity, so we solely rely on people's donations, so we don't get any government funding. So it's hugely important that people support us, because if not, we couldn't do what we do.
So if people want to listening, they might think, oh, that sounds great, I'm going to give some money. How would they do that?
Yeah, so if they just go on the website, so woodgreen.org.uk, and then go to our donation page, they can make a one-off donation or set up a direct debit.
Obviously, it's an amazing dog-based project that you're involved in. How did you attract the interest of a television production company? Obviously, I'm asking for a friend. Called Sean Walsh.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
I think because we're quite unique in the way that we match dogs and people, I'm not sure there's many other charities that do that. We're quite a small charity compared to some of the larger ones.
Yeah.
But I think what attracted the production company to us was the way that we rehomed and our conscious rehoming. And that's down to, everybody here.
And I imagine the other thing is that every match that you make is a kind of human and canine story. So what's not to love about that? Have you got any particular favourites that spring to mind when people tell us about one that you always think of?
Yeah, it's always the really sad, heartbreaking ones that stick with me. Having said that, I'm really hardened to it. I think anything that reminds you of your own situation. So there was a dad that came in with his daughter, and he'd lost his wife, and he was really lonely and spent a lot of time in the house by himself, and his daughter was going off to university, and he was just desperate for a companion. And she was desperate for a companion for him, so that she didn't have to worry about him when she wanted to go off to university and enjoy herself. And that really struck a chord with me, because my mum's poorly, my dad has a lot of similar worries, and he's got a dog, thank goodness. But I know myself that helps get him out of the house. It gives him a purpose, a routine. And I understand the importance of that for him.
Yeah. So what sort of dog did you find for this girl and her dad?
They ended up taking a shepherd.
Oh, sweet.
A German shepherd. So really wonderful, actually, because large dogs are quite difficult to rehome. Everybody wants a small to medium dog. So if anyone comes in and they consider a large dog, we're happy as anything.
And do you keep in touch with them? Do they correspond and say, oh, look, they're doing really, really well and having this the best thing ever?
Yeah, we kept in touch with them a few months afterwards, and they're doing brilliantly. And that is the best part of our job, I think.
I bet it is.
The matching's great, but seeing the dog in the home cuddled up to someone on the sofa.
Really happy. It's got to be the best part of anyone's job.
Yeah, I think one of the aspects of the show, I mean, I cry every episode. There's no getting through without crying. And they're happy stories, but I still end up in tears, is when you kind of cover the fact that people do sometimes take a dog and it doesn't work out for them. And then sadly, the dog has to come back to you, and then you have to rehome them again. Fortunately, you always say that they get rehomed, otherwise I couldn't cope. But, I think that's really important for people to know, that it's not, when they find the dog that you've introduced them to, it does have to work for them at home as well, doesn't it? That's the actual testing time. It's not the first meeting, it's when they get them home.
Yes.
How do you support that? Do you support them after they've gone home, and how does that work?
We do. We have a great team of behaviourists here who are set up just to support people after they rehome. So anytime they can get in touch with them, and they can do one-on-one training sessions. They're there on the other end of the phone. We keep in touch with people as well regularly, just to see how they're getting on. So they get a lot of support before they get to the point of rehoming, and probably a lot more information than they want, but we'd rather it be that way.
Yes.
And then after rehoming, we're there as well. And I think that's so important, because there's a lot of judgment out there, but if it's not working for people, we would much rather the dog come into us or come back to us than people struggle on, and that dog ends up in a worse situation.
Yeah, of course, yeah. What sort of dog owner are you, Helen? And who have you got living with you?
I actually lost my 2 dogs fairly recently, within a year of each other.
no.
So
Sorry to hear that.
that's okay. It's hard. It's really
Yeah,
hard.
very.
Yeah.
And I haven't managed to bring myself to rehoming another
No.
dog yet. It's been a tough time. But honestly, I'm a terrible dog owner. All the things that I say to people to do and not to do, I do the opposite. I spoil my dogs.
Sure.
I don't train them very much.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that when you do it all day long,
Yes.
you then don't want to come home
Yeah.
and do it at home as well. So I don't practice what I preach as much as I should.
No, fair enough.
They're on the furniture and all that kind of thing when they're living
Oh
with you.
yeah, they're in the beds, they're under the covers with us. I don't think one of them, the bed, she couldn't really sit, they didn't wait at the edge of the road, anything like that. A terrible recall.
We let them drive.
They look after the kids for us. No, they were great dogs, but when you get a rescue dog as well and you don't get them from puppies, you kind of have to accept that yes, you can do a lot of training and work with them, but they come with their quirks.
Yes.
And that's what makes them them
as
well.
It sure does. It sure does, yeah.
And now you're part of the Doghouse on Channel 4, and the next series is coming up, and they're looking for people to be involved. What should people do to be involved with the Doghouse?
Yeah, so if they want to take part in the Doghouse and they're looking for a dog to rehome, most importantly, they can apply through Channel 4's Take Part page or email the Doghouse at 5milefills.co.uk.
Great.
So yeah, we'd love to hear from anyone that's thinking of rehoming.
No, it sounds like a great upcoming series, and I'm sure that certainly Sara will be listening and blubbering her eyes out every week.
Yeah.
Everybody says that. Everybody that comes to us says, I love the show, but it makes me cry every single time.
Well, hopefully you come on again as well and tell us that maybe you were ready to rehome and that's something you've done as well.
That'd be
love
lovely.
Next time, we'd like to hear that. It sounds like you should have a dog at home, really.
Yeah, my whole family thinks so as well. I just need to catch up, I think.
Of course.
Yes, understandable.
Thank you very, very much for joining us, and we look forward to the next series of the Doghouse on Channel 4. Do you remember when it's coming out? Is there a release date for it yet?
Yeah, so the new series is on Channel 4 at the moment on a Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Helen. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and you're doing a fantastic job as well, Helen, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, that was lovely.
Yeah, wasn't it good? Such an involved charity, and clearly doing an amazing job in such a responsible and caring way. And we, just grateful that there are people out there who do things like that, because there's so many of our dog friends out there who really need it, and it's wonderful to know that those stories are being made every day. And I do think if you're in a position, I know that some people aren't necessarily, they want a dog, but they're not necessarily in a position to take on a rehome dog. And I understand that, but if you can and think that's what you'd like to do, then you couldn't do worse than getting involved with an organisation like that. To find out a little bit about the dog's backstory is quite useful, actually. If you are taking on a rescue.
And to get that support from them afterwards as well.
To be able to ring up and say, look, he seems to be kind of hiding under the table a lot. What's going on? And So,
Interesting points about the big dogs and finding it harder to home the big dogs. Because especially being in London, it's almost exclusively small dogs because of the city.
And I think, how often do you meet someone with a huge dog and the owner says they're the soppiest thing you've ever met?
I know.
So true. They
Sweet.
often got the loveliest natures. So there you go. Yeah.
I realised when we go to do this, and obviously it's early in the morning for me. Because I have to walk through the garden, I put my dressing gown on.
Yeah.
And then tell myself that I'll take it off when it's heated up because I've got the little radiator. And then of course I forget. So these people are joining this show. It's got Jack D. Oh my dog. Isn't it, they think that they're coming on as a guest. It's an institution, and then here I am with a big beard and a dressing gown.
Yeah.
I've not had I've not had a shower yet. I feel awful.
No, it's okay. We didn't say anything, but
It's disgraceful.
Yeah. Sean's sitting there in his onesie.
I know, it's terrible. I've got to start next week. I'll make an effort. Watch this space.
Okay.
I'm going to be just
You
honestly.
better make an effort because we're in the studio, so you better not turn
Yeah,
up.
that's true. Turn up your dressing gown to that.
Yeah, no, okay, that's noted. I am very much noted. I can't. Actually, funny you should say that. I can't even wear jeans anymore unless I'm on stage.
Why? Why can't you wear jeans?
I can't be bothered with the belt bit.
What?
Honestly, it's awful, isn't it? It's absolutely awful.
So what sort of trousers do you wear instead?
Just as they call them in America, sweatpants.
Okay.
Jogging
yeah.
bottoms.
Well,
Elasticated.
Just sort of prison issue stuff.
I've thought about this exactly that. My dress sense, if you had to describe it, is I dress like someone that's had to put on clothes to get something out of the car. But I will start trying to make an effort. I promise you.
You need to, Sean, because you're not even in your 40s yet. And if it started already, it's not good. It's not good look.
I keep thinking I'm in my 40s because a little peek behind the curtain. In my work in progress shows, I've just been, because I know that by the time I tour I will be 40.
Okay.
I've just been saying I'm 40.
You're preempting it already, are you? Yeah.
Well, I've just been saying it so that I don't. 39. It doesn't. A year away from 40. It's not. It doesn't really mean anything. I want to just get to 40 because that's how the stuff's going to work. But now I keep telling everyone in real life that I'm 40. I forget I'm not 40.
Mm. Well, saying you're 39 sounds a bit desperate, doesn't it? It does. I'm 39. I'm still young. I still got it.
Clinging on.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'll make an effort.
Talking of birthdays, we're in the studio exactly for our birthday. Second birthday, as Rowetta said earlier.
Yes.
She got in there early with her birthday greetings for us. We're going to be 2. And we're also going to be celebrating 100 shows. So that's first. 100 shows is next week, and the week after is our second birthday.
I'm so excited. It's great. It's going to be good. We're all meeting up again. We're recording it live. Simon's joining us as well, isn't he?
Yes.
Simon's going to join us, yes.
So maybe
he's coming down from Manchester.
So looking forward to that, and we'll get some more questions answered and all that. And then later on in the year, we're talking about going to one of the big dog festivals, dog fairs, dog shows. I suppose.
Yeah, Good Wolf.
Yeah, Goodwood, Goodwood in Sussex. So
that's right.
So we'll be recording there at Goodwolf. So if you're thinking of going along to that, I'm looking forward to that. It'd be great, won't it?
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. Because the last one we went to was with Sean was at Crufts, obviously, which you may have slightly traumatizing memories of, and being chased down by lightning.
Are you going to spear me to the floor just for old time's sake?
Well, look, I mean, there might be something goes on. We don't know yet. We don't know what they want to do with you.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just planning it.
Yeah, well, Sara actually had this idea. We do Oh My Dog Awards, and I don't know what categories we would create for that. Maybe we only want 2 or 3, but it's so it'd just be like, best dog story, whatever you want. Maybe people could say, I think an award for this would be great. It'd be good to have.
If anyone can remember the time I've most annoyed Jack on the pod, I'd like to hear that.
That's going to be a hell of a long list, that one, isn't it?
I think it must be the time that Jack actually swore at you.
I think that was tech related, though, wasn't it? That was technical issues related. So
and Sean gloating a little bit too much.
Yeah. But so let us know your thoughts on that. Who should get an award for content? And it could be, it could be a dog that gets the award as well. Let's not forget that. So it'd be nice to hear your feedback on that.
So thank you for listening.
Yeah.
As always, to Oh My Dog, we hope you're enjoying our deep dive into the world of dogs.
Yeah, and please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel at OMD Pod, and please do get in touch, especially for our 100th episode and second birthday shows, by emailing us at hello@omdpod.com, and find us on Instagram at OMDpod. You'll find loads of extra content and videos there. You can send us your voice notes as well.
Don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, a dog is for life, not just for podcasts.
Okay. Go and have a
Lovely.
shower now, Sean.
Thank you.
Mm.